Hey everyone, welcome to the Book Cave with me, Jenny. So I just realized when I was looking back through the clips for this video that I never did an introduction. So today we will be, finishing at the time I'm actually recording this, but when you see the next clip, we'll be starting the Twin Crowns series, which is Twin Crowns, Cursed Crowns, and Burning Crowns. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll send you back to Past Me. So I'm about a quarter of the way through Twin Crowns now, and I have to say I am enjoying this. It's kind of giving me Heartless Hunter vibes, with the whole witches and witch hunter sort of angle, but this definitely has more political intrigue in it, and it's definitely interesting to see how Ren and Rose differ when they kind of step into each other's lives. And so far, the banter with Rose and Shen has been pretty fun, and we've just hit a pretty big revelation about Rose, and so I wanted to do an update before I really got into the aftermath of that, just to kind of, have an update about that and about, how she possibly changes or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely recommend this if you like fantasy. I feel like this has kind of like a lot of fantasy going for it, especially political fantasy. I have to say this feels more like political fantasy. I just have to say I really love this cover too, like all the flowers on it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that is what I'm thinking so far, and I'm going to try to read a little more tonight and see if I update you again. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow. So I just finished Twin Crowns, and I have to say I did enjoy this. I feel like it's something that I would have absolutely loved back in high school when I was really into the fairy tale and princess thing. Obviously I don't mind it now, but it's not necessarily that's what draws me to the book. I was drawn to this more because of the mystery with them kind of vying for the crown. And I found that part really interesting too, Ren and Rose's thoughts about each other as them ruling. And then I feel like this does something that a lot of series don't always. You could almost read this as a standalone. There are obviously several threads that are left open, but I feel like the main plot point in this book, about the throne and all, and how that would be resolved, that was all resolved in this book. And so I'm hoping that continues with the next two, and that they are also, though they build on each other, that's what it is they build, and it's not necessarily a direct sequel. So yeah, I really did enjoy this, and I highly recommend it if you like the, fairy tale, princess, the lost sister, lost twin, those sort of tropes. And I feel like, although it uses a lot of these tropes, they are done quite well. This is actually really well written, and I feel like it is very easy to read, even though at parts it does read a little bit young, but they are, 17, so that kind of fits with everything. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to pick up book 2 and report back on what I think about that. So I've gotten about 147 pages into Cursed Crowns. And I did like at the beginning, we did get to see a lot of Rose and Ren together and them becoming more acquainted with each other and kind of how they were the same and how they clashed. And yeah, so far I'm really enjoying this. This one is a little more action-y than the first book. There is still a lot of political stuff, but there's definitely more action as well. And so I'm not going to go into spoilers for this first little bit of the book, and all the clips after this will have spoilers as well. And like with all my other videos, I will say where I am before just launching into the spoilers, so you know where to stop or anything like that. So yeah, in this, we have Ren and Rose have two separate storylines that do converge, the same as the first book. And we have Ren running off to save her grandmother Banba. And yeah, that happens pretty quickly. And we find out that Alaric needs a witch for some reason. We don't know what that reason is quite yet, but I have a feeling we'll find out very, very shortly. And then Rose is planning to do a kind of royal goodwill tour across Siena so that those who believe that witches are bad can see that, hey, we actually really care about you. And in the middle of this, there is a revolution starting to go, to go against the witches. And we also have the Sun-Kissed Kingdom that Shen-Lo is part of, or well, I should say he came from, is now perhaps coming back because we get to meet his cousin, and his cousin was able to crawl out of the sand and says, hey, they're shifting again. We can find our way out. We need you to come help us. So yeah, it's definitely getting a lot more action. And like I said, I'm really not all that far into it. And we've already had all this happen. So I'm super excited to get further into it and learn more about these mysteries and have the sisters be developed a little more. One thing I do feel is that they are both a tad bit immature, but then Rose being a princess, she was kind of privileged in a way because she never had to really want for anything. And then Ren was privileged in the way that she always had Banba and never really had to be on her own. She always had somebody there to give her advice. And it's kind of interesting to see how those influence the two sisters. And yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this. I'd have to say probably more than the first book. The first book was still good, but this one's just hooking me a little quicker. I'm not quite to page 300 yet, but so far I feel like this is where the action is really starting to pick up. We have Ren finally getting to the point where she's doing what she was, what she bargained to do to help keep Banba safe. And then we have Rose finally making it to the Sun-Kissed Kingdom. And obviously I still have about half of this left, so I'm kind of interested to see where this will leave off and what it'll leave for the third book. But yeah, it's definitely interesting, and I do enjoy seeing like changing dynamics as new characters are added. And I also really enjoy how nobody in this book is truly perfect. Like, even though Rose truly does care about her country, she quite often can be stuck up. Ren can be quite headstrong. And they also, like, you can tell that they're younger, because although they do obviously have, like, the capacity to make these decisions and stuff, and they are very strong characters, they are still only 18, and you can kind of see that at times where they let themselves get carried away, or where they're just having fun and are able to be, like, free and just really, really laugh and enjoy it. And it's something that is just kind of refreshing to see in something that can have, like, this heavy of under. I'm not quite to page 300 yet. I finished Cursed Crowns, and I have to say I wasn't quite sure how this was going to work into a trilogy, but with the way it ended, I can definitely see it, and now I'm not entirely sure that the story will end there. I know there are 2 more books. One is out and one is going to be coming out, but they are about side characters. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to get into Burning Crowns. But at the end of Cursed Crowns, we have a whole lot of movement in the romance plot in a way. And that we kind of have some love triangles, which I'm not loving, because that's just kind of annoying to me. However, we do get a lot of character development in this book. I feel like a lot more than we did in the first. And I feel like we also get a whole lot of action in the second half of this book. The first half was more just kind of the traveling part and the setup part, which, considering this is 500 pages, could have been tedious, but this is honestly quite an easy series to read. And yeah, so like I said, I'm definitely excited to go on to the next one, and I will report back once I get there. I finished Cursed Crowns, so I'm on about page 50 of Burning Crowns, and this one picks up just a few months after Cursed Crowns, and we're kind of immediately into the aftermath of what happened in that book. And it's pretty obvious right now that the twins are going to separate again, which I was kind of hoping in this book that they would kind of be together more, because I'd love to see their dynamic and their, like, sisterhood and everything. But yeah, this is also a lot darker. And I'm also continuing to really like Rose. And, like, she feels like a real person. You know, like, she feels very based in reality. She is not perfect. She does still have, like, her vanity, but she does truly care about her country. And then Ren also, you know, she feels very based in reality as well, that she's made mistakes and she wants to make them better, but she is afraid to tell Rose. And yeah, I just really appreciate that in this. And then, like I said, with the darker twist that is coming up, I have a feeling that this is going to move a lot faster than the previous 2 books as well. So I'm just under halfway through Burning Crowns now. I'm on page, I think it's like 208. And I have to say, I really did like the parts where Rose and Ren were together. And then they kind of split apart again to do their own thing as they each needed to. And that part is pretty fun, because at least this time Rose is also on an adventure, and she has Celeste with her, and she's traveling, so that's fun to have her traveling, as well as Ren traveling with Alaric and Tor. And Ren, Alaric, and Tor together are absolutely hilarious. I really love their banter. I also feel like this is kind of where the YA part of it shows, because they still like joke around with each other in a rather juvenile way, and it's kind of like something that an adult wouldn't joke about in that particular manner. But overall, I really do like it, and I do feel like if you're looking for a YA adventure, this definitely fits the bill, and also has a lot of magic, obviously, in it. And yeah, it's just been a fun time so far. I'm hoping I can finish the last half of this today, but we will see how far I get. So I didn't finish Burning Crowns the day I said I would. However, this is just the next day, so I did finish it still pretty quickly. I did enjoy this. I feel like the second half really picked up, and there was a lot of action, a lot of battles, and I felt like they were pretty well written, and they were pretty high stakes as well. And the love stories in this, I did like. And I also did really like the friendships. I feel like this series is really, really well balanced. I do still feel like it is definitely on the YA side. And it's definitely a little bit of just kind of roll with the world building and everything. But overall, I really enjoyed seeing both Rose and Ren mature and change and develop friendships and alliances and everything like that. So yeah, that is everything I have for you today. And as always, if you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And let me know down in the comments if you've read this series. Have you read the next two books in this, Captain of Fates and King of Beasts, that follow different characters? Are they worth reading? Because I'm not sure where I can find them. Obviously this was from the library, and my library doesn't have the other two. But yeah, I always enjoy hearing from you all down in the comments, and I will see you next time in the book cave.